Hi everyone and welcome. You're watching Eagle News. I'm Ken Cruz in Washington. It's Saturday, April 16th, 2022, here in the nation's capital. Our coverage begins now. The first COVID-19 breathalyzer test has been authorized for emergency use by the US Food and Drug Administration. The test evaluates the breath to see if there are chemical compounds associated with SARS-CoV-2 infection present. The collecting of the breath sample as well as analysis can be done at the actual testing site. An instrument the size of a carry-on luggage would be used in analyzing the breath sample. In a study, the test was shown to be 91.2% accurate in identifying positive samples and 99.3% correct in analyzing negative samples. After an increase in COVID cases in the past weeks, Los Angeles residents are being encouraged to continue masking in certain places, especially if around big crowds. JC Gabritina has the details.
Los Angeles public health officials strongly urge Angelenos to mask up while indoors and in gatherings to avoid possible outbreaks. Data released this past Monday by the LA Public Health Department shows increases in numbers of new COVID cases. From April 5th to April 11th, the average daily new case numbers reflect a 23% rise from 783 to 960 compared to the previous week, an increase to an average of 3.2% daily. The test positivity rate stays at 1%, considered to be very low, but data shows that it has been slightly increasing the past several weeks. COVID hospitalization numbers are unchanged and deaths continue to be low. LA Public Health Director Dr. Barbara Ferrer recommends that all residents obtain their vaccinations and boosters, especially with the infectious BA.2 subvariant circulating in Los Angeles and accounting for many of the cases. Angelenos who are at least 50 years old and have received their boosters over 4 months ago are currently eligible to receive their second booster at various vaccination clinics throughout the county. JC Gabritina, Eagle News, Los Angeles, California.
Thanks, JC. In related news, anticipating a sixth wave of COVID infections in the province, Ontario health officials adamantly asked people to mask up despite the widespread mask mandate not being reinstated. In Toronto, Joshua Santillana tells us more.
Ontario's Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Kieran Moore, provides COVID-19 updates as the province experiences its sixth wave of the virus. Dr. Moore discusses the rising number in cases and its cause, the Omicron BA.2 variant. BA.2 is a sublineage of the Omicron variant that dominated the province's previous wave from December to January. Omicron caused Ontario's largest infection count that reached over 180,000 recorded active cases at its peak. Research shows that the presently dominant BA.2 sublineage is more transmissible than the previous COVID variant. Evidence points to BA.2's severity being similar to the previous Omicron sublineages, but with its higher transmissibility. It is projected that the province will see an increase in severe cases and therefore may impact Ontario's healthcare system. Moore strongly recommends using masks as protection against the sixth wave, despite the province's decision to remove the mask mandate in March. Although signs of the sixth wave were already evident after the end of the mask mandates, Moore states that the province will not yet reinstate masking requirements at this point in time. As of Sunday, Ontario's recorded number of active cases is over 30,000. This is expected to increase over the upcoming weeks. Joshua Santillana, Eagle News, Toronto, Ontario.
Thanks, Joshua. In other news, April is Autism Acceptance Month here in the United States. As part of its observance, community officials in Orange County, Florida, come together to advance the handling of neighborhoods of residents with autism. In Orlando, Melissa Potes reports.
In 2021, the Center for Disease Control reported that 1 in 44 children in the United States are diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder. Approximately 40% of individuals with autism are nonverbal and wander off from safety. As part of Autism Acceptance Month, the Sheriff Department of Orange County reminded its residents of their autism initiative. In an effort to keep residents safe, the goal of the program is to alert first responders that an individual with autism is inside the home or vehicle. Free decals are available for families to place on their front door or in the rear window of their cars and add their address to the dispatch system. First responders need to be aware of individuals who may be nonverbal, unable to follow commands, be unaware of danger, or may run off when responding to emergency calls. Orange County Sheriff John Mina says the more information available allows law enforcement agents to enhance their ability to know what they are getting into. For those who do not live in Orange County, similar decals and wristbands are available for purchase online. Melissa Potas, Eagle News, Orlando, Florida.
Thanks, Melissa. April is also National Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. This year, the Department of Defense reiterates its commitment to combat and prevent sexual assault in all its units. Rose Papaangelis tells us about DoD's latest campaign against sexual assault.
April is National Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. In connection to this, the Department of Defense, or DoD, launches Step Forward: Prevent, Report, Advocate. It is DoD's campaign calling to action everyone in the department to do their part in battling and preventing sexual assault and encouraging increased assistance seeking. According to DoD, sexual assault occurs less often in units where members support and respect each other. Data further shows that sticking up for someone who is being hazed, bullied, harassed, or abused sends a strong message that helps improve climates. Sexual Assault Prevention and Response Office Acting Director Dr. Nate Galbraith says the Step Forward campaign recognizes that each member in the military community can take action to make units safer. Elizabeth Foster, Executive Director, Office of Force Resilience, says the destructive impact of a sexual assault is felt at the individual level and beyond and threatens the readiness of the nation's troops. Foster asks every member of the DoD community to make it their business to encourage acts that help prevent sexual assault, increase reporting, and advocate for a safer, respectful workplace. According to a DoD release in May last year, of the total 7,816 sexual assault reports it received in fiscal year 2020, 6,290 involve allegations from service members for incidents that occurred during military service. This is up by 1% from reports received in fiscal year 2019. If you or someone you know in the DoD community has experienced sexual assault, please consider reaching out to DoD's Safe Helpline for 24/7 anonymous, one-on-one support at 877-995-5247 or safehelpline.org/live-chat. Rose Papaangelis, Eagle News, Washington, D.C.
Thanks, Rose. On this week's Correspondent at Large, Thomas Likeness tells us about WHO chief saying that the coverage of the Russia-Ukraine war speaks of racial bias. Plus, how deaf gamers have been heard by the gaming industry. And a gas tank graveyard in Mexico? Oh, and music and surgical procedures in perfect harmony. Is that Operation maybe? We'll see.
And now news and commentary from around the globe. The war in Ukraine continues. Up-to-date coverage can be found on our website, eaglenews.net, and on our regular news broadcasts on Net 25. But what I want to talk about today is an interesting commentary I heard on news coverage of the war. These remarks came from the head of the World Health Organization. His name? Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus. Tedros says coverage of the Russian invasion of Ukraine has been front and center, and he says that's important. But he says that's not always been the case with other conflicts around the world.
I don't know if the world really gives equal attention to black and white lives. I said it last week. the whole attention to Ukraine is very important, of course, because it impacts the whole world. But even a fraction of it is not being given to Tigray, Yemen, Afghanistan, Syria, and the rest. A fraction. And I need to be blunt and honest that the world is not treating the human race same way. Some are more equal than others.
I can't disagree. I see stories about these conflicts in other regions when I scan the news wires every day, but I don't see those stories getting any play. Also feeling excluded, the deaf community when it comes to computer games, but the gaming industry is taking steps to make itself more accessible to deaf players. Developers have come up with a vest designed to vibrate with the game's sounds. Chris Robinson is a deaf gamer. He says up until now it's been tough to get involved in gaming.
I felt excluded. I didn't feel like I belonged in the gaming world because I was not able to play it or understand it or just not be able to be part of it. So it really feels bad. It just feels like you're not wanted.
So Chris, does this thing really work? How do you feel about the vest?
Now normally it's mostly sound reliant for a scary game. Like you have to hear the sound effects and stuff like that. I can't hear that. So with the vest, I can feel it. So I was able to feel something that I can't hear in the game. And it really helps a lot.
A gas tank graveyard in Mexico City has neighbors upset. This old refinery you see on the screen here is the final resting place for thousands of old butane and propane cylinders. These old and damaged cylinders were exchanged for new ones. The tanks produce a foul smell that literally drives some people from their homes every night. People also fear the boneyard is a time bomb, that the seeping gas will explode one day. The people responsible for storing the tanks don't want to talk about it. Firefighters say they've tried to do something about it, but to no avail. Government authorities, well, they won't talk about the risks. Nothing to see here, folks. Move along. That seems to be the attitude. One man who has a shop next door to the former refinery says when it smells a lot, he takes care not to light anything for fear of an explosion. I never cease to be amazed at the things researchers study. I ran across this a few days ago. It's a study about the efficiency of surgeons and the music they listen to while operating. Under research conditions, when hard rock was played in the OR, surgeons performed some tasks up to 70% more quickly. Their accuracy also improved slightly. With soft rock in the background, surgeons stitched wounds much faster. The study reveals most surgeons have music playing in the background while they operate. About half prefer rock. This cutting-edge study was published in Langenbeck's Archives of Surgery. Until next time, I wish you all peace, joy, and happiness in the ensuing week. Thomas I. Likeness, Correspondent at Large, Eagle News.
Thanks, Thomas. On this week's Mind Your Business, Bobby Sariano reports on how the Biden administration is looking to innovate U.S. manufacturing.
Hello everyone and welcome to another segment of Mind Your Business, where we are dedicated to discussing the latest news moving the markets and business trends that could be affecting your workplace soon. During a visit to North Carolina on Thursday, U.S. President Biden called on Congress to pass legislation aimed at boosting competition in the semiconductor industry.
Congress needs to get this bill to my desk as quickly as possible. Our economic strength is on the line, and national security as well is on the line. Companies are ready to invest in America, in American communities, and American workers. But they need to see that their government is capable of investing in our future.
Biden implored Congress to take action quickly to support innovation, saying the incredibly rapid changes taking place in manufacturing required an urgent approach. The United States has long lagged behind countries such as China and South Korea when it comes to manufacturing innovation. Cheap labor costs and the abundance of rare earth metals have always enticed businesses to produce their high-tech products in Asia. But with the pandemic showing the vulnerability of the U.S. tech sector supply chain, President Biden hopes that the passing of his Bipartisan Innovation Act will subsidize the cost of moving these manufacturing facilities to the United States and build the groundwork for a modernized American production line. Bobby Soriano, Mind Your Business, Eagle News, New York, New York.
In Pennsylvania, Governor Tom Wolf is asking for legislative action to help the state help individuals, families, communities, and small businesses facing the impact of inflation and the pandemic. How? By putting to good use unspent funds from the American Rescue Plan Act. Mila Simbulan has the story.
Corner stores of Pennsylvania communities, small businesses are hurting as much as individual Pennsylvanians from rising costs combined with recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. With billions in federal dollars waiting on legislation to be spent, Governor Tom Wolf calls for legislative action to spend Pennsylvania's uncommitted American Rescue Plan Act dollars. The proposed $1.7 billion spending would provide direct relief to the state businesses, communities, and families. It includes a $225 million recapitalization of the Small Business Assistance Program developed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Businesses would be eligible to receive grants ranging from $5,000 to $50,000 that could cover a range of expenses. If Pennsylvania doesn't obligate the ARPA dollars by December 31st, 2024, they will need to be returned to the federal government. Mila Simbulan, Eagle News, Swarthmore, Pennsylvania.
Thanks, Mila. Astronauts can look forward to traveling in style to the launch pad of the Artemis missions in sustainable, environment-friendly transports. Here's Philip Toledo on this week's Learning Curve.
Can you picture astronauts heading to the moon in a canoe? NASA can. Well, maybe not literally, but Canoe Technologies has been selected to provide a new fleet of transport vehicles to help astronauts reach the launch pad of the Artemis missions. According to the press release, the new fleet of vehicles will take crew members from their quarters along the 9-mile stretch to the launch pad. Each vehicle will be large enough to accommodate crew members, support staff, and the required equipment. They will all be electric, a futuristic and environmentally friendly solution. They also feature a modular design to enhance reliability and repairability. These new vehicles are replacing the legacy Astrovan fleet. The original Astrovans were introduced back in the 1983 and carried crews of the space shuttle for their various missions. Canoe investor, chairman, and CEO Tony Akilas said, "We are honored to transport the Artemis crew to the launch site for the first human lunar landing in more than 50 years. The selection of our innovative technologies by NASA to take a diverse team of American astronauts to the moon showcases a great commitment to sustainable transportation." Philip Toledo, Learning Curve, Eagle News.
Thanks, Philip. The New York Yankees' top prospect, Anthony Volpe, shares with Eagle News what he thinks about caring for an athlete's mental health and how he himself deals with the pressure of sports. His mother, Isabel, chimes in as well. Here's Carlo Valdez on this week's EBC Sports International.
Champions are made to be legends. They grow, they win, they conquer, and they leave a legacy. One of sports' most iconic teams, the New York Yankees, are a prime example of where champions become legends. A great opportunity for Anthony Volpe to start and finish his career with a team that has won 27 World Series titles. Legends love to win and hate to lose. That mindset, however, can take a toll on an athlete. physically and mentally. The mental side of sports is equally as important as the physical side, says Anthony.
I just love winning. I hate losing. I just want to win, and I just try and do anything I can to help the team win. I think the mental side of the game is just as important, if not even more important than the physical side. So I think that's what happens when you start worrying about the results.
Despite the challenges and hurdles that come with being a professional athlete, Anthony's mother Isabel always reminds her son to stay grounded and humble.
We always tell him to be stay grounded. He's made it, but he hasn't made it to where he wants to be at. The game of baseball can't be bigger than him, or he can't be bigger than the game of baseball. He's done a good job, trying, stay humble.
Athletes always want to leave a legacy, and for Anthony, he wants to be remembered for his hard work.
I guess I would just want to be remembered as, like I said, someone who always hustles, works really hard, and would kind of do anything to help the team win. Not only on the field, but off the field, I guess, too. So I guess that's kind of the legacy I'd want to leave.
Discipline, determination, and humility are some characteristics of champions, qualities that Anthony Volpe has to cement himself to a great baseball career. Carlo Valdez, EBC Sports International, New Jersey.
On Monday, one of the most anticipated, biggest marathons in the world is happening. With tens of thousands joining the race every year, the wait is over soon. But not for everyone who wants to run. Julianne Lou Evangelista tells us who cannot run in the 2022 Boston Marathon.
Russian and Belarusian runners will not be allowed to take part in this year's Boston Marathon. The Boston Athletic Association said that because of the invasion of Ukraine, athletes living in these respective countries will be barred from the April 18 race. However, citizens of Russia and Belarus not residing in either country would be allowed to run, but not under the flag of either nation. The country affiliation and flags will not be recognized until further notice. Chief Executive Tom Grilk said in a statement, "Like so many around the world, we are horrified and outraged by what we have seen and learned from the reporting in Ukraine. We believe that running is a global sport, and as such, we must do what we can to show our support to the people of Ukraine." They did not indicate how many Russian or Belarusian athletes had entered this year's race. In 2019, 59 runners in a field of more than 30,000 were from Russia and Belarus. The Boston Marathon is one of the world's major marathons. The race was canceled in 2020 and then held in October 2021 with a smaller than usual field. Julianne Lou Evangelista, Eagle News, Boston, Massachusetts.
Thanks, Julie. In Texas, kids are taught life and leadership skills by moms who share the same goal as several others across the country through the Jack and Jill of America Incorporated. Jane Kathleen Gregorio reports.
We're here today in San Antonio, Texas, where we will discover how a group of moms are working together to help children develop leadership skills through the Jack and Jill Foundation. Originally founded in 1938 by the late Marion Stubbs in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Jack and Jill of America Incorporated was a program to help nurture children to become future leaders through leadership development, volunteer service, philanthropic giving, and civic duty.
Jack and Jill of America Incorporated is an organization, it's a nationwide organization that of mothers that provide leadership and community service for children. And we have a local chapter here in San Antonio. Well, we host different programs based on each age group each month. And so this particular event is a community service event that is teaching our students how to give back to the community. We pick a charity to donate to, and so we have chosen the San Antonio Food Bank. It has been great. We've collected, I don't know how much online, but I've gotten several notifications that we've had financial donations so far, and we've had people trickling in since 11 a.m. this morning. I love giving back to my community and also being an example to our children so that they know to also give back, because we've been blessed with so much.
A typical day in Jack and Jill is many meetings focusing on what can we do next for our children. Previously, we did the Love and Luggage event where we donated over 32 bags all together with different items. We donated books, we donated clothes, hair products, things that people that are displaced from their home, they won't have. It's the basic needs. As parents, as mothers of this organization, we want our kids to be future leaders, be the next president or be the next congressman or the next leader of whatever organization. We believe in our children and we believe that their future is very bright.
Jane Kathleen Gregorio, Color My World, Eagle News.
Thanks, Kathleen. On this week's Embassy Files, we get to see works by award-winning photographers on display for the Visions of Asturias exhibit on 16th Street here in Washington. Bureau Chief Arlene Ocampo reports.
Here in Washington, the Visions of Asturias exhibition is currently on display on the outer fence of the former residence of the ambassadors of Spain. This showcase of photographs includes pieces from Spanish National Photography Prize winners of this particular region in northern Spain, highlighting their vision of that part of Spain. The initiative has Alberto Garcia Alex, Jose Manuel Ballester, Oka Lil, and Chema Matos as featured photographers. More than 20 photographs are on display. Visions of Asturias is a project of the Fundación María Cristina Massivo Peterson that began in 2012. It was an avenue for the winners of the National Photography Prize to produce work concentrating on the Asturias region and its peoples. The unique pieces are incorporated into the Foundation's art collection. As an extension of this open-air photography display, the Cultural Office will screen documentaries about 3 of the photographers included in the exhibition. On April 20th, a documentary about Okalil will be shown. Visit SpainCulture.us for more about the exhibit. Arlene Ocampo, Embassy Files, Eagle News.
Thanks, Arlene. Warm weather is making its subtle entrance, and we are advised to prepare for and protect ourselves from the dangers extreme heat brings along. Marcel Faria for some very helpful tips. Here's this week's Health is Wealth.
Now that temperatures in this part of the world are rising, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, gives us tips on how to protect ourselves from extreme heat. Yes, warm weather is a time for exciting outdoor activities, but heat and exhaustion is not a good mix. The CDC says more than 700 people die from extreme heat every year in the United States. People suffer heat-related illness when their bodies are unable to properly cool themselves. Older adults, young children, and people with chronic medical conditions are at high risk for heat-related illness and even death. So here are some simple things you can do to protect yourself this season and during the summer. Stay in an air-conditioned indoor location as much as you can. Drink plenty of fluids even if you don't feel thirsty. Schedule outdoor activities carefully. Wear loose, lightweight, light-colored clothing. Use sunscreen. Pace yourself. Take cool showers or bath to cool down. Check on a friend or neighbor and have someone do the same for you. Never leave children or pets in cars. And check the local news for health and safety updates. Visit cdc.gov to learn more about the danger of extreme heat, its potential risk to health, and ways to stay safe. Marcel Faria, Health is Wealth, Eagle News.
Thanks, Marcel. It's time for OceaniaAtAGlance. This week, Echo Hortaleza Quinola takes us to Papua New Guinea's celebration of World Health Day, where the call for climate action has been sounded in each event.
National Capital District of Papua New Guinea celebrates World Health Day under the theme
Our Planet, Our Health. The event started with a morning walk and exercise from the Southside Fitness Center to the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium. World Health Organization representative Dr. Sevil Husenova speaks about climate change and its effect on one's health.
This year is our planet, our health, which brings up so planetarian issues like climate change, clean air, like clean water, such matters that matters for our health, right? And why it is important to have a clean air. If we don't protect here in Papua New Guinea today, our quality of the air, we might also go in the wrong direction. We can also use not a good source of energy like fossil burning or etc. that can pollute our air. So around the world we always say talk the walk or walk the talk, but let us walk the walk and let us protect our environment, let us protect our planet, let us protect our health. And also I take this opportunity to call everyone, please get vaccinated for COVID-19. Protect yourself, protect your loved ones, and protect the people who are in elder group or more unfortunate positions. You protect me, for example, if you take a vaccine. Thank you.
Other dignitaries and city officials attended the celebration to raise awareness on climate actions needed in keeping humans and the earth healthy.
If I were to have an influence, if I were to have a purpose in my life, if I were to do this, it's for me to tell you, your health is your wealth.
We also have
healthy,
active city development
we've got a lot of
rich
food,
which is coming up
the organic, our garden food,
This is an event
fresh
that
fish.
you will not want to miss.
So,
categories include
sort of learning from the health officers, we
NGOs,
sort of change our lifestyle.
The commandants for the
because,
environment and showcase
the
your
statistics
skills for a chance
shows
to win
that almost 60% of
5,000 kina.
the deaths are
Registration
caused
forms
by
are here at
communicable
Southside
diseases,
Fitness
which
Center,
lifestyle diseases.
Can be collected from Monday to
I learned a
Friday.
lot today.
Port Moresby Governor Poe Sparkup, the Active City Development Program, the Department of Health, and the World Health Organization have led the celebration. Echo Hortaleza Quinola, OceaniaAtAGlance, Eagle News.
Thanks, Echo. Las Vegas, Nevada is the latest concert destination for Korean pop group BTS. Only a member of the BTS army will understand why the whole city and pretty much the whole nation has been hyped to another level the past week. Bureau Chief Anna Kui reports.
Whether you're a regular BTS fan, ARMY, or not, it's hard not to get caught up in the excitement happening here in Las Vegas since the K-pop superstars arrived in town. Even days before their Grammys live performance, BTS, also known as the Bangtan Boys, together with their ARMY, seem to have taken over the city. Marquees and properties at the famous Las Vegas Strip were lit purple the night before their first out of 4 sold-out Permission to Dance concert, with welcoming signage for the South Korean sensation group and its fan club ARMY. Fans have also been gathering at the Fountains of Bellagio water show while they feature the group's hit songs Butter and Dynamite. Now, what else is happening here in town? To provide the ARMY with the full-on BTS experience, you can see here at Area 15 an immersive art and entertainment venue that is hosting a free pop-up space filled with exclusive BTS merchandise and curated installations. We caught up with some ARMY members who talked about their experience being here in Las Vegas, enjoying the BTS concert.
And it was like, oh my gosh, they're so amazing, they're so beautiful, they're just great human beings.
Every show is different.
And it's always different, and it's just awestruck.
And being part of what Las Vegas has welcomed everybody, that's been kind of fun.
Right.
The BTS is awesome. Awesome is beautiful. It's awesome.
BTS just finished the first 2 of their 4 sold-out events at Allegiant Stadium this past weekend, and their fans are counting the days before they see them again on April 15 and 16.
So, you went to the concert this past weekend? Yes, I did. I went twice. Wow, and then you're planning to go again this weekend? I sure am. My love for them is unconditional.
Anna Kui, Eagle News, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Thanks, Anna. View, like, share our other shows: City Limits with Alan Basalyahe, Connected with Dr. David, Take a Seat and Join Us with Anna Kui, Plate Date with Mike Hudson and Friends, plus Journey, Stories of Filipinos in Canada with Kathleen, best last name ever, Cruz. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Eagle News Live. I'm Ken Cruz. Happy weekend, everyone.